We must stop caring about the cleanliness of our house, our car, and our belongings, and start giving a crap about the cleanliness of our own bodies. I cannot stress this enough to you. Hello, my name is Taylor, and thanks for joining me. We are at a time right now when this information I'm about to share with you is most needed. Now, the concept of detoxification has been such a pivotal concept for me in my life because, like everybody else, I thought the word detox had no real meaning and was just used to sell health-related products. And accepting the concept has allowed me to embrace and experience all the benefits of my new quote-unquote extreme lifestyle, as you can see in the picture here, me holding all these bananas. The word detox has become such a buzzword for the entire health community over the last few years or so, and actually quite controversial because of so much, way too much spreading of misinformation by huge trusted information outlets online, especially on YouTube, who are blurring the lines of this concept and blurring the truth. I'm talking about plant-based news mostly because it's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, outlets with a huge following, as you can see, over 200,000 people. Now, if you're watching this video, you're probably familiar with all these people falling off the plant-based diet, and I'm talking about Elise from Raw Alignment, Bonnie Rebecca, Tim Sheaf, Bobby's Perspective, Vegetable Police, Sarah's Day, Nico Cotto Avocado, Ravana, and many more. And instead of leaving comments on their videos about how they're wrong, I decided to make or create this video. And so I'm really fed up because people are so quick to believe anything they hear. And it's no different from how people believe everything they see on the news, like from mainstream news like ABC, CBS, CNN, Fox News, all those major mainstream news outlets, because somehow we think authority figures or people who present themselves as authority figures have the final say in everything, and this must come to an end. So this guy right here, who represents the views of many plant-based doctors and who is pretty much the head of the channel Plant-Based News, he is a major culprit right now because he's spreading this idea that extreme dieting or alternative health methods or water fasting or juice fasting, the raw vegan diet or the 80-10-10 diet are all contributors to gut issues, and all those people from those popular channels who I mentioned before, all of them seem to be having quote-unquote gut issues when it's probably something else, and this has led them to failure on the plant-based diet. And the fact that he's spreading this information, it's so bad for the raw vegan movement because so many people have healed themselves with this way of living and this school of thought, if you will. And his ideas, which aren't true by the way, keep more people from healing themselves by adopting the raw vegan diet. Now, like I said, this guy spreads information on behalf of scientists, doctors, and doctors are a part of science. Let me tell you, science will never, ever know the truth because science isolates a certain effect between variables in an experiment or study when in reality everything is connected. Nothing is isolated. Think of an ecosystem. Everything is dependent on everything else. So I just want to make the point that science does not apply to the real world, the world in which we live, because here everything is connected. Science publishes findings that illustrate part of the whole truth, and part of the whole truth is much more dangerous than a lie because people are much more inclined to accept partial truths. So it's obvious that many people who go back to eating animal products did some form of fasting, whether this be water fasting, juice fasting, or even dry fasting. Let me tell you, there is an art to fasting. We must realize this. because it is true. Just like there is an art to everything else, such as the shape of the human body, the beauty of music, and even the taste of food. No average person can just eat nothing and expect perfect results. To emphasize this point, I want to compare two ways of fasting by sharing two different people. The first person I want to talk about is Pro Gamer J. He is pretty big on YouTube in the gaming community, and he is infamous for his prolonged water fast. And he was actually pretty successful in this fast. He lost a lot of weight, he looks a lot better, and I think he kept the weight off. But he actually did this fast the wrong way. He has virtually no knowledge of healing and autophagy and that whole subject. His main reason for fasting was weight loss, and most of all, he probably didn't rest. He probably went about his day doing strenuous activity or going to school or surfing the web, going on his phone, and this is not the art to fasting. The second person I want to talk about is Lauren Lockman, and he hosts a fasting retreat in Costa Rica called the Engelwood Wellness Center. And so many people who attend his retreat report amazing results, and their life is forever changed when they go to his retreat. And Lauren Lockman promotes holistic fasting. And by this I mean he provides the optimal environment for fasting and healing. And he promotes rest. And this means not going on your phone, not being exposed to Wi-Fi or internet or TV, because these are actually really draining activities. Instead, he promotes a lot of resting, a lot of laying down, a lot of talking with other people, a lot of really healing activities, and these activities allow you to emotionally heal yourself, meaning allowing deep-seated emotions to come up, and you're just required to face them and deal with them. So I hope this illustrates to you that there is an art to fasting. And if you do it the right way, if you optimize your surroundings and your environment for optimal healing, then you will have profound, long-term, and sustainable results that will not result in going back to animal products to try to find health again. So I think it's really important that I go over a list of concepts and how the science community views the concepts and how the raw food community views them. So the first concept I want to go over is detoxification. The science community thinks that the body does all of the detoxification it needs on its own, even when you provide the body with less than ideal food, like junk food and cooked damaged food. And the raw food community proves that raw food and fasting actually accelerates the detoxification process. So yes, both schools of thought agree that the body does some amount of detoxification on its own, but it is true that fasting and raw food allow the body to detox on a much faster, deeper level. So the second concept is the science community thinks that fasting makes you starve to death. Well, this isn't true. The raw food community has proved over and over that fasting uses old, damaged cells as energy. This is also known as autophagy. The third concept is about brain fog. The science community thinks that fasting results in brain fog and low energy. And while this is true, the raw food community sees it in a different light. Fasting is actually a redirection of energy toward healing. And healing, like I said earlier, requires a lot of rest, a lot more rest than you think. So the next concept is a really important one because it's so misunderstood by everyone, and that is to listen to your body. The science community thinks that listening to your body involves eating when you're hungry and eating whatever food you think your body needs at that moment. But let me tell you, if you think you're eating when you're hungry, you're most likely not. Hunger actually originates in the throat, It's a feeling in the throat. It's a watering of the throat. It's not at all felt in the stomach. The feeling of hunger you feel in your stomach is actually a withdrawal symptom of consuming damaged food that your body cannot recognize. So, on the other hand, the raw food community sees detox as changing the way you listen to your body. So, this means by fasting, you reset your body to allow true hunger to return because you rid your body of all that waste, all that damaged crap that you've consumed. So, the next point is about cooking food. And the scientific community loves to say that cooking increases the bioavailability of nutrients, especially the lycopene in tomatoes and the carbohydrate or starch in tubers like potatoes. And yes, this is true. Cooking does make one nutrient more bioavailable, such as lycopene and I think one other nutrient in one other food. But yes, that is true. But the raw food community realizes that the heat from the fire destroys all the nutrients. And even though one nutrient may be more bioavailable, that may not and actually is not the amount that is required by the body. It's actually way more lycopene than is required by the body. So, yeah, the raw food community realizes that the enzymes and the protein are all denatured. The starch is converted into mush, like mushy fiber that actually sticks to your digestive system and that accumulates and causes autoimmune reactions and disease. Also, the scientific community loves to say that there's no proof and no scientific evidence that the raw vegan diet or fasting actually works. Now, I'd like to invite you to check out all of the documentation and all the videos on YouTube of people saying their results on the raw vegan diet and how it has changed their lives, how it's reversed their diseases, how it's made them have boundless energy, how it's reset their digestion, and it's not just in video form, they're also in comments on YouTube, and you just have to know where to look. So there actually is evidence that the raw food diet and fasting works for people. And the very last point, and I think the most important point, is money. Science is driven by money. Scientists have to get paid somehow. So this distracts them from seeking the truth. And raw food is about free health, no money involved. Fasting is about getting out of the body's way, and it just takes care of itself. It heals itself. You don't have to buy pills, supplements, anything, as long as you get back on track with the right diet, with the raw food diet, and you do it correctly. You follow the art of the raw food diet. Another important point I want to address is that even after you damage the food when you cook it, you also strip a lot of the water from it. And eating this dehydrating diet your whole life leaves you chronically dehydrated. The food soaks up the water in your body like a sponge, believe it or not. So this dehydrating food is one of the main reasons why we get so sick, why we get disease, why we have wrinkles, why we develop old age symptoms. And the process of detoxification actually takes a lot of water to clean out two forms of toxins. Toxins, another buzzword. These toxins are environmental toxins such as exhaust fumes and the fluoride in your water that you consume, and the stagnant waste or poop that seeps its own toxins into your body by sitting there in your lower digestive system. So a hydrating diet consisting of clean mineral water, not distilled water, vegetable juice, coconut water, fruits, and vegetables. These all hydrate your lymph. Your lymph is the waste of your blood. It hydrates your bowels, which is obviously the waste of your body, and it just makes it easier for this to be eliminated. Think of a stagnant swamp. The water's stagnant. It's not moving, so it smells really bad. It smells really ripe. You probably know the smell of a swamp. And then think of a flowing stream. The stream, in a way, is very hydrated. It's always moving. It's always supplied with water. And a stream is very clean. You often drink from a stream. You don't drink from a swamp. That would probably kill you. So when you consume a hydrating diet, your lymph and your bowels are allowed to flow again, and the process of detoxification is sped up drastically in your body. Okay, so I hope that all of the information I provided in this video has helped clear up any confusion you might have had about detoxification. And to bring this full circle, I want to bring your attention back to the very first thing I said, and that was to stop caring about the cleanliness of your belongings and start caring about the cleanliness of your own body. Now you probably know what I mean. Do you look pregnant but are a man? Do you have acne, psoriasis, or cysts? Do you have stinky poop? Have you been diagnosed with a disease or disorder? All of these are a sign that you need to detox your body. And how do you do this? It's not by cleaning your body from the outside in with soap, shampoo, ointments, or cologne. It's by consuming a hydrating diet of non-fluoridated water or coconut water or vegetable juice, fresh fruits and vegetables. And after a while, I promise you, you will see what you're missing. Thanks for watching.